테디베어 내 맘은 사랑과 내게 줘도 좋아 You're my 테디베어 테디베어 부드러운 너의 품 나는 원해 너의 눈 The sweet You're my 테디베어 my 테디베어 이대로 시간이 멈춘대도 좋아 You're my 테디베어 my 테디베어 부드러운 너의 품 나만 원해 너의 눈
Wanna make you happy and then she goes 나만 혼자 남겨뒀어 대화가 필요해 너 먼저 나에게 말해봐 너와 나의 이 관계가 달라졌음 해 One at a time So tell me you want more 지나가버린 추억 너무 잦은 다툼 가끔씩은 지치기도 해 이제는 너무 익숙해져 버린 너의 한숨들이 난 더 이상 하고 싶지 않아 So baby tell me why not 너와 나의 그 차이가 why not 더 나와줘 Variety princess, yeah. Variety princess, yeah. Variety princess, yeah.
Welcome to the stream, everybody. I was not planning to start this late, so I completely understand if it's like super late for some of you guys, but you guys can always watch the stream afterwards, you know? when you have time tomorrow or whenever, you can just watch it then. But hi Jason, hi Ace, hi Forrest, hi Lumen, hi Hope. Thank you guys for being here. And we're gonna just jump right into it. Let me go ahead and pause our music. Move this over here. Let's see. How's everybody doing though? How am I doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, I guess. I have to sneeze. I feel like I have to sneeze. Switching over to the game. Alright, let's jump right into this. You guys see my emoji? If you remember, put that shit in the chat. We need some despair in our lives. Alright, I do not hear the game. Am I tripping balls or am I tripping balls? Yes, I am tripping balls. I don't have the game volume turned up on my end. No wonder. Oh, and it's muted for you guys too. Sheesh. Sorry. Let's turn that down a little bit more. Alright. So we need to investigate this complete shit show of a mess. Hold on, let me get this. I'm trying to get everything like fixed and situated on my stream, guys. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Ace. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was like freaking out. I'm like, I don't know what to stream. Some people are saying Sims. Some people are saying Danganronpa. But I kind of want to stream both. And then it got like super late. And I was like, well, I can't stream both now. So now I don't know what to stream. I was just going through it. Just over here fighting with myself. I know. Poor Haru. And he was trying to get everybody to like, you know, stop being all crazy, and look at how he ended up. So let's start our investigating. So it looks like we have something here. What the hell is this? A cigarette? Ugh, the smell. This is the source of the smoke. It was a military smoke screen that was often used for strategic purposes in modern warfare, as it was on the ground and still spreading a little bit of smoke from it. Damn, they hit him with the Call of Duty real quick. Also, close to the smoke bomb, there was a flash grenade that had been used and became an empty steel barrel. Flashbang and smokescreen. These were also when Teruya and I opened the door at first to the arsenal this morning. In an instant, a tremendous light and sound came upon me. At the same time, the smokescreen spread like a mist. Looking at this far, no matter what I think, these grenades can be affirmed as the cause of this situation. The question is who? Who would do this, and what happened while we were confused? Was it also the culprit? In the most realistic case, when we opened the arsenal, the killer was already inside the arsenal. Even if it was estimated from the time of death of Haru, the timing was right, and in an absolute soundproofed arsenal, no matter how loud it would have been impossible to be noticed. There was only one entrance to the arsenal. In order to escape, they would have no way but to meet us outside. Was the smokescreen and flashbang used to avoid that encounter? Ooh. However, when I recall the situation in the morning, it would be difficult to say that a person would artificially come out at the same time we open the door. Oh, no, wait. This is... A thick wooden plank was stuck in the inner handle of the arsenal door, and now it was in the state of being doubled towards the opening of the door. Something that I heard right before opening the door with Teruya this morning. It looks like it was this wooden board. The overall development that can be inferred so far is... The thick plank was clasped in the door of the arsenal, and the flash and smoke grenades were both placed on the plank. Well, I'm glad this stream will calm you down. It'll calm me down too, because I was going through it right before I started streaming, so I'm right there with you, Forrest. I was like, do I even still want to stream? And I was like, yeah, let me stream. I think streaming will cheer me up, so. If that happens, when you forcefully open the door from the outside, the board gets crushed and the placed grenades fall to the floor. That shock triggered the grenades. But something feels weird. In the end, if it was meant to be used by the killer to get out of the arsenal through an enormous light and sound, was it necessary to use this cumbersome method? I can't even guess what the killer's goal was. Flash and smoke grenades has been added to the student handbook. Wood plank has been added. Well, that is quite interessante. Let's look at this. Huh? Suddenly, while investigating the corner of the wall, I saw something out of place. This gun, why is it so far away in a corner of the room? I picked it up off the floor and checked it. I felt the heavy, peculiar feeling of how real it was, but I couldn't find anything particularly strange. It's just a gun that doesn't change much like the other guns that are on display. Was it just a little far away? Maeda! What are you doing? Huh? What is it, Teruya? You should take your hands off that gun right now. Wait, this must be some misunderstanding. I was just trying to investigate over here. That gun, it will blow up. Eh? Blow up? What are you talking about? What are you doing? Now you've decided to kill? It's a shame for me to tell you this, but it would be a big deal if I were in your shoes right now, so never touch that gun. That's not it. I was just trying to investigate. This is a misunderstanding. Why would I try to kill you? Eh? You weren't trying to shoot me? That's right. So what did you mean by this blowing up? Oh my gosh, Muki's character is kind of slow. Now you know how I feel. What? Forget it, it's nothing. And then he just leaves the room. What? Teruya's sudden behavior is strange, but according to his words, this could be dangerous, so I put the pistol in its original position and decided to leave it alone. However, Teruya's strange remarks feels like something is odd. I'll take note of it. I feel like he's the culprit. He was the main one fighting with Haru, and if he's not the culprit, I feel like he has something to do with it. But I don't know, he's sus as fuck. There's blood splattered in this area too. Whoa, hey. I was trying to check the condition of the guns in display, but there was blood on the display, but when I looked up close, I witnessed an even more grotesque sight. What the fuck? Fingers? It was human fingers, no matter how you looked at it. And of course, the owner of these fingers was Haru. I know Haruhiko's body had a ruptured hand in addition to the gunshot wound in the chest. Among them, his index finger and middle finger fell off from it. His fingers lie here as proof. But why are his fingers here? At first glance, it was far away from Haruhiko's body. From the shape of the blood, it seems like he began to walk after his fingers got cut. I thought it said his fingers walked away. Oh yeah, I ignore you now, Muki. No, it's the opposite. It's likely this was rather his body moved just by taking a glance on the floor. I should consider the possibility that the killer moved the body for some reason. I have just realized we haven't even read the Monokuma file. Oh, Yuki, welcome back! Monokuma, why are you here? Geesh, why are you treating me so harshly? I served you a meal as promised, didn't I? Did you eat your food? I don't have time for your nonsense jokes. Disappear. Why are you so angry, I wonder? Anyways, I've forgotten something, so I came here to deliver it to you. It's the Monokuma File 4. Oh, right. Weak reaction, Yuki, you baka mulberry. What the hell? Monokuma File 4 is already the 4th file. No, let's stop thinking like that. My only option is to think about the case. This is a Monokuma file left behind by Monokuma. It doesn't seem like much help, but I'll have to read it first. The victim is Haruhiko Kobashikawa, or Kobazang. Kobazang, as Satsuki says. The estimated time of death is about 6 a.m. The body was found in the arsenal. The cause of death was excessive bleeding due to a gunshot wound to the right chest. In addition, the index finger and middle finger of his right hand were ruptured and broken. The fuck? Gunshot wound from the first time I saw the arsenal at the ballroom, I guessed it vaguely, but from this fact, the intake seems to be a gun. The time of death here is about 6 a.m. The time was lost when I spent it in the ballroom, but when I went to the dormitory to change my clothes a little earlier, I checked the current time was around 9 a.m. That means Haru's death was less than 3 hours. I got up after listening to the announcement at 7 a.m. this morning, so the incident really happened quite early this time. This time, the time of death is properly written, and I guess the cause of death too. There was a trap in the Monokuma file for the previous case. There was confusion of the time, but because it didn't write down whether it was AM or PM. But fortunately, There seems no doubt about this Monokuma file. But that's it. This Monokuma file is just that. No special clues to be found in it. No, at least we can know the estimated time of death. Let's take note of it. Kaobazing. Hi Medusa, thank you so much for the lurk. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're liking the DDV updates. Alrighty guys, let's go. We already looked at... Let's look at this now. What is this? At first there was no distinction from the 10 blood on the floor, but when I looked closely I felt something. It was like the remnants of something other than blood was stuck on the floor. What the hell is that? A gun? Is it really? It was so disastrously destroyed that there was almost no form left, but I almost thought of a gun form of parts. Mookie. Mookie, you should know these things. You should know that the person who's talking is always on the right side of a text message screenshot. It wasn't just because of the destruction, but a large amount of blood with each piece of it. Because of the lighting on the floor, it was difficult to see it clearly. How can it be destroyed this way, though? It's like seeing a bloody octopus, so that doesn't make sense. A bloody octopus, hello? While observing the remains of the destroyed gun, I suddenly found something noticeable. This gun is loaded with bullets. In my mind, I checked around the other guns, but all of the magazines were empty. For this to be the only one destroyed, a small number of bullets were loaded. The arsenal is basically unloaded, and the bullets who were loaded separately are stuck on the magazine. Because of these conditions, and the fact that the only one loaded with bullets is this gun means there's a possibility that this is the murder weapon. This sounds like a pretty important clue. Let's be careful to remember this. Why is it all destroyed, though? What are your favorite quality of life improvements that they added, Medusa? If you have time to say, because I know you're lurking. Alright, let's look at this. This is a pistol. It's located in the immediate vicinity of Haru. Then this pistol could be the weapon that killed Haru. Or so I thought, but soon I realized it was wrong. The guns are all scattered on the floor. There wasn't only one gun that fell on the floor. Perhaps it was the criminal's actions. Most of the guns fell to the floor and were mixed randomly. From this point on, I don't know which gun was the one that directly killed Haru. It would be difficult to conclude that this is the gun used for the killing just because it was the closest one. It seems that the guns were all scattered in order to prevent the real one to be found. I should check things out. Well, we already kind of figured out which one it probably is. It's Haru's body. It's no different from our friends who have died so far. His cold, empty eyes. We're alive today because you're dead. Don't you think this is absurd? There's no way that Haru, who had passed away in such a devastating manner, would answer me. Well, no shit, Yuki. He is dead. But the class trial still remains. If we can't find the culprit who killed you, we will all die. By all means, I'll find the one who killed you, Haru. I won't make your death in vain. After expressing minimal condolences to Haru, as if making a prayer, I began to investigate his body. First, the fatal wound that can be considered as the direct cause of death must be a gunshot wound to the chest. In the case of friends who have died so far, if they used a hammer, a knife, or a plaster weapon, that makes the murder weapon bloody. In the case of Haru, because Monokuma prepared an arsenal, he was shot because the treasure provided an inspiration to kill him. However, I don't really know how to deal with this, as ordinary students like me don't have the slightest idea of how one feels as being shot. The murder weapon is a gun. Even if it was a gun, what kind of gun was it? And in addition to the gunshot wound in the chest, there's something suspicious. Haru's right hand. Blech. His right hand was devastatingly destroyed, so much that I couldn't see it with my eyes open. It was literally destroyed. The index and middle fingers were completely amputated, and the remaining fingers were torn to pieces in the skin. I'm sure Haru got his wound from being shot to the chest, but what in the world happened to the wound on his right hand? No matter how much I think about it, I don't think my hand would look like this if I was shot by a bullet. Rather than a gun, it's like he got caught in a dynamite-like explosion. I think it's a little seared when I look at it closely. Oh yeah, Medusa. And I like how it tells you what their favorite like their favorite items of the day are too, a lot more easily. You tried to set up a PayPal too? Damn, Mookie. Damn, Mookie. Come on, Mookster. I wonder what kind of gun it was that shot Haru, and is it urgent we find the identity of the object that caused the wound on the right hand? I know, I've never really heard of a card not having a CVS code. Or CSV, or whatever it's called. There were no more noticeable clues, and I couldn't see any more of my friend's terrible body, so I decided to stop and get up. Alrighty, so what have we not looked at? I think we've looked at everything. Well, we have to look at something in front of Haru too, and then we can talk to Tsurugi's crazy ass. I couldn't see it properly because of the smoke, but when I suddenly stopped to look, I could find that there was an unnatural blood stain on the floor. Blood traces danced throughout the arsenal as if Haru wandered around the arsenal after being shot. What is this unnatural blood stain? It's only obvious that it's Haru's blood, but rather than trying to run away after being shot, just by looking at the blood spots, it seems as if he was trying to move in the arsenal all over the place. Simply put, it was just so bizarre. It's reasonable to assume that this degree of descriptive blood was made by the killer dragging Haru unconsciously? Well, for now, I can only think of it as a possibility, but there must be some reason for the blood to be left this way. Alright. Tsurugi. Yuki. In the end, I can't hide the awkward mood. Tsurugi told me to focus only on the investigation, but I was still worried about it. Yes, do you have anything to ask about the case? Well, I mean, Haru's body, he wasn't killed instantly, right? Indeed. In fact, there is a hole in the chest, and even in the Monokuma file, is said to be an excessive bleeding death due to a gunshot wound. A gun. Until now, thanks to the layout of the school, there were murders with items that would be common in the everyday life. To think there would be a person who was shot to death. It's fine, you guys might not be familiar, but I have my fair share with gunshots. If there's something you don't know, it's fine to ask. Is it because the incident happened? Even though there was a conflict less than 24 hours ago, Tsurugi wasn't much different from the way he usually treats me. Well, maybe it's the gun and the chest wound. Would it be better to see this as an immediate death? No, I don't think Haru was close to immediate death. Huh? Why's that? Even if it was on the chest, it's not the heart, it's the right of the chest. The bullet passed through the body. Since it wasn't stuck, it would have been possible to move for a short amount of time rather than die immediately. It wasn't stuck? Means it penetrated the body? Wouldn't it be more dangerous then? There are surprisingly many people who think that way, but in reality, it's better for a bullet to pass through the body than being stuck in it. There are 3 types of layer damage to a body. I never knew that. I never knew that. No, Mookie, you should try harder. You should just try harder, Mookie. It's $3. Every credit card or debit card I've seen has a CSV code, or is it CVS or CSV? That's gonna bother me. Well, maybe it's my cataracts, but I don't see. Are you serious, Mookie? Your card definitely has one. There are 3 types of layer damage to a body. One is bleeding, another is burning, the last one is the impact of a bullet's kinetic energy. If you look at one by one, it's difficult to inflict great damage due to the small surface area. In case of burns, it's rare that from excessive bleeding you die immediately. But the story of a shock caused by the kinetic energy is different. Yuki, if you get hit with a fist or a bat, it will be difficult to move due to the impact, right? Well, if you're an ordinary person who doesn't even have special training, that would be even worse. Similarly, when a bullet gets stuck inside the body, all the kinetic energy turns into shock energy, creating an instantaneous large space in the body. The fact that this space has been created means that the body has been greatly shocked. This shock will cause negligible damage and damage to the surrounding organs as well. Really? I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but anyways, that means penetration is a better alternative than getting stuck, right? That's what it means. In fact, in some foreign countries, there are bullets that split the front part of the bullet and causes fragments that get stuck into the body. That's terrible. The bullet did this. It was a fatal injury to be hit by this bullet, whether it was stuck or it was pierced in the body, especially in the case of Haru. As you said, Yuki, the chest was hit, so even if it was pierced, there is a high possibility that a hole in his lungs was pierced through. As I said before, it's only less shocking, and he must have died shortly after having difficulty breathing and bleeding. It's hard. Guns should only be cheap for the wicked, unless it's in an extreme game. This is an extreme situation. There doesn't really seem like a need to be talked about. Anyways, I'll move to another place since the arsenal has been roughly investigated. Make sure to investigate carefully. If you find something, let me know. Tsurugi, there was an incident yesterday and he seemed very unstable recently, but it seems everything is okay because of the current one. Was it only me that had a hard time to deal with it? Seriously, Tsurugi is a completely different person from the first time we met, the time he was hostile to us, and the time of the investigation. For now, let's check what Tsurugi just told me. I didn't really understand it all, but in summary, it's better to be pierced from the bullet and having it stuck, and Haru's case was the latter. Was it like this? I mean, okay, I guess we'll talk to Ray. Ray, I want to ask you something. It's noisy. Since when did you get along with me talking? Since when did you get along with talking to me so freely? Get lost. Even so, I thought we would cooperate a little by passing the same point of death, but it seems to have gotten worse. In this case, it might be better to cooperate with Tsurugi as much as possible with this limited time. Oh, Yuki. Akane, what are you doing without investigating? I'm sorry, the body is so terrible. I understand it's hard, but we can't help it. We'll have to do it. We have to do our own investigation as far as we can. I know, it's been about a week since Kenji's case. I'll do my best. Have I looked at everything or no? Let me see if it lets me leave. Whoa, what the hell? Mikako, you were here. What about the Arsenal investigation? I did it. Roughly. You weren't supposed to do it roughly. Yuki, I want you to listen to me. Huh? There's a problem with the alibis. During dawn, I kept monitoring the hallway. You were? She nods. Are you okay? I didn't really know, but you could have died because of hunger. It's okay. I'm used to it. You're used to it? Yes, I'm used to dying. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, about the alibis. My room is right next to the arsenal. Unfortunately, because of the soundproof, I couldn't hear anything inside the arsenal. Only the sound of the arsenal door opening and closing could be heard. That means you saw it? You saw who went into the arsenal? I heard the sounds. I couldn't see them from this room, but I could see the moment when they were passing by the door of my room. Isn't that right next to the arsenal anyway? If I had passed in front of your room and headed to the arsenal, no. This is the hallway on the left side in front of the arsenal. Due to the structure of the ballroom, if you turn to the other side and enter the arsenal, you can move without seeing the eyes of Mikako. That's right. But at least I've seen a few people. Well, maybe you should be looking up what it is for your card. Okay, how about that? That entered the arsenal. Really? Who were they? One is Haru, and the other? The rest, I'll tell you in the trial. Suddenly, I thought about investigating. Okay, then stop wasting our time with your shit. Still a weird girl as usual, but thanks to Mikako, this case could be solved fairly easily. Apart from that, I'm worried about her health. She usually looks weak and nervous, but this time, she couldn't even sleep or eat at all. I hope she's okay. No, Mookie, that would be me going to Universal. Satsuki, why are you standing still doing... what? Yuki, what am I supposed to do? Is it because it's Haru? It seems too horrible, but now we have no choice but to investigate, even if it sounds cheap, in order to survive. To survive? Is it Satsuki? No, yeah, the investigation, I have to, yeah. She was so quiet that it wasn't like her at all, and the girl that went rampant, like always. It seems that Haru's death hurt her more than any of us. I mean, that was her Kalbazane. Flashback to when Haru was trying to go in the bath, what is it? Like the bathroom? The bathhouse to watch the girls bathe and shit. Tsurugi, what are you doing in front of the door? Yuki, you're here. There was something I was going to check right now, but if it's okay, why don't we check together? What are we looking for? We're looking at it. It's opened. Wasn't this room? Indeed, it was from Haru's corpse. I borrowed the key from it for a while. Because this is an incident in a closed space with limited movement, it's better to search everywhere as much as possible. I decided to follow Tsurugi and investigate Haru's room. It's a room that's no different from my room, shockingly enough. Yuki, look at this. There's something of interest here. Some kind of paper? Not another fucking note. To Haru, I have something to say. If you read this, why don't you come to the arsenal? I'm not going to kill you. I hope you believe me. I'll be waiting. This is... The letter was written by the killer? It's the same method as when Maki was killed. Besides, the letter wasn't torn like last time as proof that the culprit couldn't even mess with. However, this seems a little more than what it takes. What it takes? I'll ask you, Yuki, after reading this, would you go to the arsenal? Hell no. You just noticed my pic in the corner? Actually, that's an emoji. Show them for us. Show your emoji that you have with your membership. Let Mookie know what it actually is. Maybe then he'll figure out what the code on his card is. Huh? I mean, by the time this letter was sent, they would kill me. Just after we hit each other and fought. In that situation, if I received a letter like this from you, that was also the way Hiro used putting a letter down the door. Down the door? How can you even know that? Can't you tell by a glance? There's no reason to meet face to face and give a letter. And there's no way to send a letter in a locked room like this. Period, Forrest. It's definitely the first time anyone thinks of calling themselves out for murder. But why did Haru go directly to the arsenal? Well, but couldn't it have been that they didn't know because it was impossible to think normally? I mean, just before we went crazy. No, we were already crazy. If you look at the source of that madness, it's due to being starved and dying because we couldn't eat food and the fear that someone might kill you. In other words, it's because of the self-defense fear of death. I don't want to die. So you'd rather judge things related to death more rationally than usual in extreme situations. Still, the question remains, why did Haru go through death's door by all means? Is it because he believed it? What? Haru probably believed. He believed that there was no one in our group that could commit a murder. He believed until the very end. We were all on the verge of releasing the strings of reason, but it was different for Haru. He was the same. He wasn't sane, but he still opposed the idea of murder to the end. Tsurugi, you did that too, right? He didn't want to ask you, but we've all gotten weird. He pled you to do something because Haru was like that. Even if he was insane, he would have trusted a friend and went straight to the arsenal. Such stupidity. That's not worth the word of trust. I agree with Tsurugi. I feel like nah. With the way they were acting yesterday and how crazy they were all being, talking about, oh yeah, let's all kill each other and let's just all kill ourselves and die. Yeah. Or how about somebody volunteers to be a victim and somebody volunteers to be the killer? Like, hell no, I would have stayed locked up in my room. It's like jumping into death without being able to judge the situation. What's with that face? Were you hoping to get closer to me? Did you want me to be impressed by saying this was your way of showing your trust to others? Well, look at the result. He died because of that stupidity. That's the reason I'm far away from people like this. Tsurugi. Enough. We're investigating now. We can't get excited over personal feelings. Well, whether Haru acted that way because of a mischief is withheld, but this letter is an important clue in the end. Just finding this gives a great achievement. There seems to be nothing else special in this room other than this. I'll leave and check another place then. Let's see each other at the class trial. Whatever. I thought he was okay, but Tsurugi is, after all, having a doubt in his own mind. If this class trial ends safely and we all survive, we'll have to seriously talk about his state. I am saying he's insane. Damn, that was quick. Hello, can everyone hear me? It's already time. Anyways, it happened only inside the ballroom, so there's not much to investigate, right? Now then, everyone, please gather in front of the entrance to the courtroom. Period. So it's already the end of the investigation. No matter how much I do this, it's too short. Damn, I don't think I've recovered my sensitivity yet on my body. But it can't be helped. I did my best to investigate as much as I could. All that remains is what we have investigated so far, and we have no choice but to guess the killer with everyone else. I wonder if Haru did it to himself, but I can't imagine what the fuck happened to his fingers if that's the case. I don't know. Everyone's here. Yes. Oh, Yuki is here? Then let's start the trial. Why are you stuttering, Mookie? Only the tension is flowing, the mood terribly awkward. While in the ballroom, the world of a lawless land was so colorless and hard. Above all, the number of people was too small. 7 people, including me, besides one of us, is the culprit who killed Haru. Even if this trial is safely handed over, the criminal will be executed and only 6 people will remain. 6. It was a number that didn't feel real. When has our head count been reduced to this extent? Looks like everyone has gathered. Well, it's easier to manage people since the numbers have been reduced, but isn't everyone's tension too low? Events that are washed out like the class trials are more lively, you know. It's no fun because there's no reaction at all, geez. Now then, it's already the 4th time, right? This is the start of a fun class trial, so get on the elevator. Period. Whatever the case, I have to go beyond this class trial. The later issues are for later. Everyone has their faces as if they were determined to do something even in an awkward mood. Different thoughts intersect each other, and we run into a hell called a class trial once again. Fuck y'all. At first, I thought that this elevator was so narrow that it felt full, but now it's so wide. I looked at the 6 other than me, and heavy silence one by one. Tsurugi is now in complete trial mode. In this state, Tsurugi does a 180-degree change. He only uses his head to break through the events before his eyes. But is it because of our mood that it looks like there's an anxious expression somewhere? Satsuki, who has not lost her bright appearance at any time, she was still unable to escape from her shock of losing Haru. She wasn't the same. She wasn't the same Satsuki anymore, and her shaggy appearance made even the beholder's heart ache. Hi, Tango. Mikako was always the same. She just stayed consistent with silence, and I couldn't even tell what she was thinking. Akane looked very tired. She doesn't want to lose any more friends, and she doesn't want to go through the class trials anymore. That kind of heart seemed to linger on her face. Teruya was restless. After the incident, I may feel that Teruya's behavior is strange, but if you think about it, Teruya was like this at every trial, so it's not unusual. Nah, it's unusual. He's guilty. Ray wasn't saying that she'd watch us shovel as usual, but she was thinking of something unfamiliar to herself, like something unexpected even for her. Is there anything that will get us stuck in this case? Different thoughts and different beliefs cross between each other. At the point where there are only 7 people left, we're thinking differently, but we have to overcome this. A hell-like 4th class trial. Bruh, can they put on their ball dresses and tuxedos and capes and shit again? They look so badass. An elevator stops, as if we had made an appointment. We step at the same time without a special signal. Am I feeling better? I'm feeling okay. I could be better, but I feel alright, I guess. Thank you for asking, Tango. I hope you're doing well. Towards a very familiar courtroom. You're here! I was waiting! How are you guys? It's been a long time, hasn't it? You met with us right after the murder happened a while ago, though. Nah, I mean meeting me as the judge. Well, it's been more than a week since the last trial. Instead of that, this presiding judge is more stylish than usual. Don't be useless and start the damn thing already. Well, I'm always neglected, but this time it's getting more thorny. Don't you think so, Yuki? I don't care. Start as Ray said already. Even Yuki is rude to me. This could be a sign to represent your heartache. Then I'll start as you want. Nah, Forrest thinks that about you. Now, shall we start right away? To uncover the truth of the prolonged stay in the ballroom incident for more than a week, we have the all-exciting, heart-pounding class trial. The only thing that's the same as usual is Monokuma. Each one of us were in serious mode, unlike usual. The tense in this trial, the feeling of losing a dear friend to us. The reasons were different, but in the end, we came here for the class trial. Now, all that remains is to find the culprit by confronting all the clues, testimonies, and test our wits that we have. Haru, our relationship with him was finally bonding us together in the middle. He was like a licorice in a drugstore. With Satsuki, he always showed his bright side, and at the same time, his love for his friend was twice as deep as anyone else's. As a result, thanks to his death, we were able to eat and survive, but Haru couldn't eat anymore. It was an unavoidable choice to live, but as a result, there's a culprit that killed Haru. If we don't find them, we will all die in the end. Motherfuckers dropping like flies. Hi, Super. The atmosphere of the court is filled with silence. Our trial finally begins. A life-threatening discussion, a life-threatening lie, a life-threatening betrayal, a life-threatening conclusion, a life-threatening defense, a life-threatening trust, a life-threatening class trial. I honestly don't even want to check the truth bullets because, like, I feel like we've already... Like, we literally just looked at everything and we really didn't have that much, but I'm about to look at this shit. Gunshot chest wound, ruptured right hand, goddamn. The scattered guns, the unnatural bloodstains. Severed fingers is crazy. The destroyed gun. The flash and smoke grenade. The wood plank. The corner gun. Teruya was acting weird as hell. The letter. Mikako's testimony. Tsurugi's testimony. And yeah. Hi, Triple O. And please no spoilers, guys, for those of you that already knows what happens. Thank you. Alright, let's save that and let's start. Hi, Jose. Thank you, Tango. First, let's start with a brief explanation of the class trial. The outcome of the class trial is decided by your votes. If you point out the blackened
Only they will be punished, but in case you point out the wrong person, then I'll punish everyone else except the blackened. And the one who deceived everyone else can proudly leave this school.
And the translation was made by Sevi. It finally started, the 4th class trial. One of us is the culprit that killed Haru. We must find the culprit at all costs.
Now then, please begin your discussion.
Guys? Ah, right, yeah, should we start discussing? Oh, I haven't been doing Teruya's accent. Maybe because he's been acting so weird, it's been throwing me off. Okay, we have to work hard, so what do we start with? What, this stuffy, awkward mood? Well, it's not unreasonable because our conflict has reached its peak. First, I think each of you will have a lot of things to say before the trial, and the feelings that you're feeling will be different, but now let's focus on the trial in front of you. Aside from everything else. Just like we did before so far, haven't we? Tsurugi. As Tsurugi said, now is the trial. Let's swallow what we want to say to each other for a moment, because survival is our only priority right now. Ha! You don't take that for granted, do you? Let's get started already. Then let's begin. Once we get the case sorted out, let's organize a series of events in chronological order based on what each knows. Hey, wait a minute. Before that, I have something to say just for a minute, please. What is it, Satsuki? I'm the killer. Eh? Satsuki? What did you say just now? I said, I'm the killer. What the hell is happening right now? I'm the culprit who killed Haru. Don't play around, Satsuki. What are you saying all of a sudden? It's not a joke. Are you serious? Don't make me laugh. Do you think if you claim to be the criminal without physical evidence or logic, you'll become the culprit? But I really killed Haru. Cap? It's giving Hina and Sakura. That's what it's giving right now. Just saying. It can't be. Stop making bad jokes, Satsuki. You should explain one step at a time. If we listen and we're convinced, then we can really believe that you're the culprit. Suddenly, what is all this? Just as the trial began, she said she was the culprit. If it were a normal culprit, they would never confess. But would Satsuki really be the culprit? Before making any judgments, let's first listen to Satsuki's story. Yeah, just let me know. Flashes smoke grenades, letter in the room, gunshot, chest wound. Okay. Why are you claiming to be the culprit? Let's hear your reason. Okay. At dawn, Kobazine called me. Cap? I followed Kobazine. We went to the arsenal. And then all by myself, he pointed a gun at me. I just shot him in self-defense. It can't be. Bitch. Okay. You're lying. If Satsuki really is the culprit, it means that the victim, Haru himself, called the culprit. But isn't that a little weird? Haru was actually the one who was called. Yep. From the letter or note or whatever that we found in his room. So she can stop with her lying. I call cat, bitch. Wait, Satsuki, Haru called you? Isn't that odd? Is it weird? The victim Haru called you, the culprit? That can't be it. Rather, the victim Haru was called by the culprit and went to the arsenal. If you were the culprit, you would know. You would know. You were saying he was called by the killer? That's... I don't know. That's ridiculous. The letter that was put in Haru's room is what he's talking about. The contents are like this. To Haru, I have something to tell you. If you read this, why don't you come to the arsenal? I'm not trying to kill you. I hope you believe me. I'll wait. Whoa, if the contents of that letter are true, it makes no sense that Haru called Satsuki and took her to the arsenal, right? It would be the opposite. That's right, but Satsuki said she doesn't know much about this letter. The killer doesn't know the letter they sent. Nope, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. What if it was manipulation? Yuki and Tsurugi wrote that letter that I didn't know, and you're manipulating things now. Don't be a thickhead. Obviously, this evidence came from Haru's room. So, Satsuki is not the culprit? Wrong. I really mean, and I'm the real culprit. Just looking at the current evidence, to say that Satsuki is the culprit is hard to tell, but I want to make things a little more clear. So let's ask about it. Haru's other wound, whose source is unknown to the evidence that only the culprit, only they must know. Is it the shit with his fucking hands? Satsuki, if you're really the culprit, there's one thing I want you to tell me. This isn't like the letter, but a direct clue to Haru's body. So if you're the culprit, it's a clue that you must know. What's that? Haru's right hand. You recall? His right hand was completely shattered. It's hard to say that this was a gunshot wound. If you're the culprit, can you tell me the true nature of this wound? I don't know. Why did his hand become that way? You don't have to talk anymore. You're not the culprit. Tsurugi's like, yeah, bitch, you too slow to be the culprit. Just shut up. Wait a second. I'm telling the truth. Why are you still claiming to be the killer? If it's real, even if you're the culprit, you'll only get executed. I don't know what you're thinking, but this is not a joke. If you unnecessarily confuse our reasoning and we choose the wrong killer, we will all die. Maybe that might have been the purpose. What? She was close to Haru, who died this time, right? Apparently it looks like she was in a severe shock, unlike the usual one who always talks at random. With that shock in mind, you're trying to make us follow Haru's fate. Isn't that right? That was it? Absolutely not. Of course, I'm really sad that Haru died, but I'm very much sane. Stop it, Satsuki. We haven't even started a proper discussion yet. As the discussion goes on, the killer will be naturally revealed. Hi, Mystic. If you are really the killer, you don't have to rush things. It'll all turn out okay. Satsuki. Oh, alright then. Let's discuss about it. Has it been roughly organized? You wasted my time on useless things, so let's start from the beginning again. When the case started to happen. Hold on a minute. Is it okay to wait 1 minute before that? In this case, can we assume that Satsuki isn't completely the culprit? No, not necessarily. If Satsuki is really the culprit, there's still a possibility there. That's it? We haven't started any reasoning yet. First, there's a possibility from what happened a little while ago, but maybe there's something up. And that way, they were excluding themselves from the suspects line. That had to be calculated. With Satsuki's mind, it would be impossible to tell. Hey, you're treating me as a fool right now? I don't think it was on purpose. Quiet. First, as Tsurugi says, let's summarize the unfolding of the case. Oh, right. Where can we start from the evening before the incident happened? Oh, that was when Yuki, Haru, Teruya, and Satsuki, Mikako, and I, 6 people gathered at the restaurant. Yuki called us, and at the time we were at the limit of our hunger, and we all thought to come together and meet each other in the thought that we should somehow unfold a hard policy. At that time, Teruya suggested, I'll tell you, I wasn't really sane back then. That's what happened was my fault for being immature. What's this? I didn't even see your faces the day before the murder took place. I don't know this, so explain exactly what's going on. Teruya gave us a pen and paper to nominate one victim and one culprit. This shit sounds insane when you, say it the next day. Just casually like that. He asked for one person to vote. Since Monokuma banned suicide, it was a plan to set up the case at the expense of 2 people. That was really crazy. I'm so sorry. It's alright, it's all over now. We almost agreed to this plan too. It looks like the part I saw from there. I broke into the restaurant because the absurd plan was about to be implemented. Yeah, Tsurugi came in and handed out guns to each of us to commit suicide. Not them having to talk about how crazy they all sounded yesterday. What? Oh, no, nothing at all. Keep going. Not Ray laughing. Well, that's when we started to fight back at Tsurugi, and then we were lucky enough to catch him and was judged to be dangerous, so he couldn't move anymore. Oh my, sorry. I am so uneducated today. Continue. So... the problem starts after this. Thanks to Tsurugi, the plan was halted, but there was no progress for the day. We locked Tsurugi in the room, and then went back to our own rooms. Between this morning, Haru died. I couldn't sleep all night, so I was staying with my eyes open, but I heard something outside in the morning, so I went out, and Yuki was asking for help, saying that the door was not opening. And when you somehow opened the door, you found the body? Yeah, that's right. This case is missing our eyes because between the dawn hours and there's not much evidence, so we have no choice but to share information we know with each other. First, a few alibis can be established just by hearing about this. Alibis? Yes, so then let's dig into the alibis one by one, alright? Mikako's testimony, unnatural blessing, severed fingers, destroyed gun. Okay. First off, it wouldn't be a problem if I excluded myself from the suspect list since I was tied up, right? Oh certainly. An idea where Tsurugi commits a crime doesn't seem possible. Why? The fuck? I have an alibi too, Yuki and me. How? We were together when the body discovery announcement happened. No, that doesn't make sense. If so, the ones can be suspected as a criminal are Akane, Rei, Satsuki, Mikako. I really don't have an alibi, but it's not me. Satsuki is the killer! You shut up already. Stop causing trouble. If only there was more information that would check our alibis at dawn. Oh, I know what it is. I think it's Mikako's testimony. Everyone wasn't sane at the time and an incident happened while everyone's senses were near dawn hours. So, don't think of it. I think, yep. Yeah, he's like, I was tied up. And then I really don't agree with what your character said, Buki. He's like, oh, we have alibis because we're the ones that found the body. Like, what? That doesn't make sense. Period. I agree with you, motherfucker. Tsurugi, wait, come to think of it, I think there was someone who knows the alibis during dawn in detail. Who is it? During the investigation, Mikako, she clearly testified to me that she had seen who went to the arsenal in the morning, right, Mikako? Yes. Oh my goodness. This game is so funny. What? If that's true, the culprit has already been revealed, right? You're noisy, be quiet. Hey, dark circles. So who did you see? Dark circles is crazy. Mikako's room was right next to the arsenal, so she heard the arsenal's door opening and closing. Of course, the arsenal is soundproof. So she didn't hear the sounds from the inside. I don't think hearing only the sound is enough to be a direct witness testimony. I was thinking the same thing. No. She's gonna be like, I saw their shoes. I saw people passing by in front of my door. What? No way you've been watching the hallway all morning. Is that what you mean? She nods. But then, still, it would have been difficult to stay sane and hunger by watching the hallway all night without sleep. However, that worked nicely in reverse. The culprit couldn't have thought that there must have been someone in the midst watching the corridor. That's a great achievement, Mikako. So then who passed by? Well, I don't know the time. No, actually I was responding to a text, Mookie, but thank you for your input. The exact time is unknown, but it was in this order. First was Haru and Satsuki from left to right. The arsenal didn't open at this time. A little later, Satsuki went from right to left. She was alone at this time. A little later, after Satsuki passed, Teruya went from left to right. A little later again, I heard the sound of the arsenal door. Then Teruya went from right to left. And after a while, Haru goes from right to left. Soon after, Haru and Satsuki are together again. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, but wait a minute. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what's left to right or right to left. Can't you just tell us a little more clearly? You're the only one that doesn't understand something so simple, aren't you? Don't cut the flow for no reason. Focus and listen. Don't be like that. I'm a little confused too. But let's listen to Mikako's story until the end and reorganize it in an easy to understand manner. Mikako, is that everything? That's it? Oh yeah, Mookie definitely did that shit. Indeed. As you said, you can assume that the killer has already revealed themselves. At the time of the investigation, I didn't know this because Mikako didn't tell me properly, but this is definitely a tremendous amount of information. Don't be sitting there looking crazy, Teruya. Hey, I want to join the discussion too, but can't you tell us a little bit more easily? Oh, sorry, Akane. I'll organize it so it's easy to understand. But before that, there's something I want to check again. The location of the room each of us was using. If we know this, I think we can properly organize Mikako's information. Well, that's certainly something I want to do and need to move on. From what I roughly checked with each other during the investigation, everyone remembers the structure of the corridor behind the ballroom where the rooms are listed, right? As you would know, if you did a little closer examination, there was a small tag on the door of each room. Oh, I didn't even realize there were rooms across. I thought all the rooms were up there. The fuck? And according to the tag, the rooms are distributed in this manner. Monokuma randomly gave us a key for each room, and from what I have investigated, I didn't know people were across the hall, like over there. The fuck? Okay, so we have Mookie in the top right. Mikako's right next to the arsenal. Tsurugi's in between Teruya and Mikako. Haru was right next to Yuki, who's in the opposite corner of Teruya. Across from Haru was Akane, across from Mikako was Rei, and across from Tsurugi was Satsuki. This is probably how each of us were located in each room. When we reconsider Mikako's testimony after arranging the distribution of each room used by each person in this way, we can see that a few suspects are eliminated. Well, I mean, I didn't understand Mikako's words at all. That's your own fault. Are you going to blow up valuable discussion time for someone like you? Why is he being so mean? Tsurugi, that's too far. It's important for one person to know about the case, right? I'll rearrange it and explain it to Akane. Thank you, Yuki. Do what you like, preferably as quickly as possible. Tsurugi, you still don't seem to forgive me. Akane, so to summarize Mikako's words simply. First, the fact that Mikako watched the hallway all morning. Akane, you heard it earlier, right? And based on what Tsurugi summarized, Mikako's room is room 8. It's the room on the right side of the arsenal. When you go straight from the entrance of the arsenal to the corridor. As Mikako explained a little while ago, what she said was from left to right and from right to left is based on the direction facing the corridor at Mikako's room. Hiro, make it more easy to understand with pictures. In the order that Mikako saw it, Haru and Satsuki were the first people that passed by in front of the door at this time. She said there was no sound of the arsenal door opening at this time, so I think it's just the two of them passing by. And a little later, she said that Satsuki passed by alone again in the opposite direction. Shortly after this, she said that Teruya passed by. And at this time, she could hear the sound of the arsenal door opening. This probably means that Teruya went to the arsenal. After a while, the sound of the arsenal door opening was heard again, and then Teruya passed to the opposite direction. Soon after, Haru passed by the same direction again. After this, Haru and Satsuki went from left to right again. Damn, they've been up all fucking night. And at this time, the door to the arsenal was open. Someone went into the arsenal. After that, there was no movement for a while, and after a little time passed, Satsuki passed by with the sound of the arsenal door opening. These are all the movements Mikako saw and heard during the morning. After this, well, she heard the ruckus of the arsenal door next, but that was probably the sounds of me trying to open the door. Teruya, who passed by, heard the sounds I made. Then I opened the door with Teruya's help during this time. That's a summary of what Mikako heard and saw, roughly like this. Do you understand? Wow, when you explained it to me, I understood it all at once. Thank you. Really? But wait, if we look from the current events on each step... Yeah, there's one suspicious person. Do you see it clearly? I can't guarantee 100% that's what Mikako heard and saw was everything that happened at dawn, but with the information obtained till now has resulted in one influential suspect of this case. That person is Teruya, stupid ass. Teruya is the only one who fits to be the main suspect of this case. Huh? Me? Haru was the victim, so he couldn't help it. The fact that Satsuki was close to Haru makes me understand why she was there. But why did you move around like that so early in the morning? Oh, that was, what was it again? Right, I was investigating. Yeah, everyone was in a panic, so I wanted to find clues to get out even for a little bit. Just a few hours ago, you were trying to pick two victims. The guy who was despairing and doing investigation was thinking of all of these things. Doesn't that sound a little weird? That's all there is to it. The weight fixed my mind. People can change their mind easily, you know? Even if it's true that you did an investigation, if you think about it based on Mikako's testimony, you were only in the arsenal. What kind of investigation did you do in the arsenal? No, I never went into the arsenal. Teruya, please stop the pretense and explain properly. What the hell did you do in the arsenal? I never went into the arsenal! Teruya? Why does it have to be only me? I did nothing wrong. If you look at it, Satsuki also went around at dawn. Why am I only suspicious? Yeah, I'm the culprit. Are you still saying that? I told you to be quiet. Certainly, Satsuki is well under enough suspicion. However, she said she didn't know the identity of the letter, nor did she know about Haru's hand. So that's it then. You're just gonna take her off the list just because she said she doesn't know. That's a long shot. I didn't know anything about the letter or the right hand either. Don't be mistaken, Teruya. You now said that Satsuki is the culprit and you don't know about these clues. While Satsuki claims to be the culprit, but she doesn't recognize these clues, are entirely different matters. Hi, Sky. Then what about Yuki? When I saw him this morning, he was trying to get in the arsenal, so Yuki is also suspicious. That just happened. Yes, I won't deny that Yuki is a suspect as you claim. He had been in and out of the arsenal the previous day, and even this morning he had the strange idea of going to the arsenal again. But this and that is a separate matter. As a result, Yuki failed to enter the arsenal this morning. There was no testimony of Mikako witnessing in the morning, so this is not suitable for committing the crime. Oh, well, anyways, I don't know about that. I'm exactly trying to protect him, but relying only on Dark Circle's testimony has a slightly loose time frame. I'm going to ignore it to not make me go nuts and move on already. It's giving Kenji. Hi, Tater. It's giving Kenji. I know that. It's about the structure of the ballroom, right? The structure? Think about it. Even if Mikako watched the hallway all night, it's about looking outside of the room and hearing the arsenal door. But if you look at the structure of the ballroom, you can easily enter the arsenal without passing by Mikako's door. Because we were all at the ballroom for a week, I think everyone should know, but the arsenal is structured around the dance hall at 360 degrees. In other words, if you go back to the other side, you can enter the arsenal without being noticed by Mikako. Moreover, in the case of Yuki, Mikako does not stand out, even if he does not use this method and go straight into the arsenal from his own room, since it was in the opposite side of Mikako's room in the first place. You knew that too. See? Yuki is the culprit after all. But there's something you shouldn't overlook. Even if you use the same method to enter the arsenal without showing your appearance to Mikako, there's still the sound of the door opening and closing that can only be heard by Mikako. But in Mikako's testimony, the sound of the arsenal opening and closing was always heard before and after someone passed her door. That's right, after all, the person who walked in and out of the arsenal at dawn, I can't think of anything other than these three people who showed up in the testimony. Haru, Satsuki, and Teruya. That's all lies. So Teruya, you went to the arsenal and I want to hear your reason to make sure. If you're really innocent, there's no reason to be in a panic, right? Then I'm really innocent. Really, I just went to the arsenal I just went in for a minute. I don't think there will be an end if this goes on like this. What is Teruya so afraid of? I'm not sure. He doesn't want to say anything because, well, I'm not certain, but I'll have to show more convincing evidence that he has no choice but to speak with his own words. Good night, Forrest. Come to think of it, there seems to be one suspicious thing about Teruya during the investigation. What was it? It was when I was investigating something in the arsenal. Let's recall that moment. Yep. He was acting weird as hell over this little gun over here in the corner. My child has school, Mookie. Come to think of it, Teruya didn't you say something strange to me when I was investigating? What? Something strange? I don't know. I found a gun that was dropped in a corner, and when I checked to investigate it, suddenly you came and told me not to touch it because it will blow up. What do you mean, Yuki? Tell us in more detail. There was a gun in the corner of the arsenal that was hard to see. I tried to investigate why it was in the corner like that. Suddenly, Teruya, who was nearby, ran up and told me not to touch it because it would blow up if I shot. Maybe he thought I was going to use the gun. If you shoot, it will blow up. What are you talking about? No, before answering that question, how did he know about that? this. Yuki, the gun, did you properly investigate it? Huh? I did examine it roughly, but it was a normal gun with nothing special. I mean, Triple O, I don't trust anybody because I've learned my lesson, but I mean, I felt Teruya was sus before anybody was even killed. Because he's been acting crazy the past few days, but I also feel like him being the culprit is a little too obvious, so honestly, I don't know. I'm also kind of, like, honestly, kind of sus of Mikako, too. Because why are we just taking Mikako's word? Why are we just saying, like, why are we just believing everything Mikako says? She could be lying for all we know. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's hard to believe that any of them would. Well, some of them are a little weird, but I don't know. It's like we're getting down to the wire. There's not a lot of people left, so I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I did examine it roughly, but it was a normal gun with nothing special. I thought it was equipped with a bomb or something because I thought it was going to explode. Probably. It's not like that. Hey, Monokuma. Did you call me? I was enjoying this. What's up? I require you to submit evidence. Bring the gun, Yuki mentions. What? What are you? Why am I being ordered? Submit evidence? Is that possible? It is part of the debate on the class trial. There's no problem by the rules. You, the judge, have no right to deny it. That's correct. There's no profit to reject it. Besides, if it's part of the discussion, what's the point? Gee, I really don't like that attitude. How can you be so cheeky? Shut up and get it already. Actually, I thought this was going to happen and I brought it from the beginning. Now, here you go. That shit shoots out grenades. How is it? This is it. What the hell? It's a bullet. Bullet? It was loaded? It is not a simple bullet. It's a bullet for shotguns and medium-sized rifles. Bullets that do not meet the standard were forcibly loaded to this gun. If you pull the trigger with one of these, a bullet that doesn't fit into the magazine, it enters the chamber and blocks the muzzle, and of course no bullet shell comes out. The pressure from the gunpowder has disappeared from where it's supposed to go, and instead goes spreading all over the gun itself. It will end up being shattered. Wait a minute, but then why did Teruya know about this? Why? Yeah, I feel like Rei's not weird. I feel like Yuki's pretty normal for the most part. I feel like Akane's pretty normal. But if I had to say the ones that I think could commit a murder, I could see Mikako, Teruya, or Tsurugi doing it for sure. Oh, and Satsuki's kind of weird too, but I don't think she did this. I don't think she did this because she really liked Haru. I see now what you did in the arsenal. Teruya, did you change the bullets on purpose? For what reason? The gun in that state, if you hold it with a human hand and fire it, it blows up their hand? Your hand will never be safe. When I listened to those words just now, I see a very similar wound I remember in my mind. Yes, the source is clear. Haru's right hand. I understand now. Haru was hit by the explosion of the pistol that Tsurugi is holding right now. That evidence was also in the arsenal. That proof is... Is it this? Period. Yeah, that's right. It was in the arsenal. The fragments of a gun filled with blood, which appeared to have been burst from the inside. Yeah, I saw it too. Haru fired the gun wrongly loaded, just like this gun, and the gun he was holding exploded, and his hand ended up being ruptured. Then Teruya did this to... Haru? Yeah, that makes sense. That's why he went into the arsenal by himself. He probably loaded the gun... He probably loaded the gun incorrectly on purpose. Tricked Haru into coming there to the arsenal with the notes. Probably got into some sort of argument with him or tried to threaten Haru once he got there. and made sure that there was a gun laying around, the one that he loaded incorrectly. Haru tried to use it, blew up his hand, and maybe that's when... Actually, I don't know though, because Mikako said she saw Teruya leave the, she said she saw Teruya leave the, what is it called? The arsenal. So when were they in there at the same time? Unless Teruya was in there when Haru was in there at the, like, Haru came from the left side and didn't pass Mikako's door and went in there with Teruya, but I don't know. Then Teruya did this to Haru. Wait a minute, I'm sure this gun is the one I touched, but I don't know about the other destroyed gun. You admitted it, the fact that you touched the gun. Of course there are two guns with misloaded bullets. It's a little weird, but I'm certain, Teruya, you've definitely done something. Is that really it? I think if we pry a little more, you'll end up confessing everything. Don't treat people as criminal without solid evidence. Even if I put my hands on the gun, it can't be proof that I'm a killer. So I don't know anything. Give me the proof. Evidence. It can't be denied that Teruya is the most powerful suspect right now, but is there any more solid evidence? If we keep discussing, we might see something we haven't considered before. We recommend that you hear about the bullet scan. What the hell? Insert long explanation of bullet scan. X to scan. Maintain pressed while scanning the yellow words and record the bullet. Remember that there's only one true scan bullet. If you scan the wrong one, you won't be able to record it. Okay. So I need to turn one of their statements into a truth bullet, essentially. Monokuma file 4. Let's see what they all say. I don't know anything. Cap? It's already been revealed. Stop lying and tell the truth. You went to the arsenal. You deliberately loaded the gun wrongly so that the bullet would explode. But only doing that doesn't mean I'm the culprit, does it? Of course you loaded the gun. You can say it doesn't make you the culprit, but... The killer loaded the bullets on purpose. I'm certain of this. Well, we don't know that for sure. That's far-fetched. I'm not the killer because I did that one thing. You're treating me as a culprit. You knew the gun was going to explode. What more evidence do you want to see? Teruya, how could you? I should have noticed the moment you asked us to put pen and paper was given. Okay, she basically said, I should have noticed the moment you asked us to, like, write down a victim and all that shit. It is certain that Teruya went into the arsenal at dawn and secretly manipulated the gun, but is that really all there is? Did they sneak at dawn just to do that one action? Let's think about it. If we listen to everyone's statements, we'll be able to uncover another track of Teruya's deeds. Let me see. I'm thinking it's the pen and paper thing. Yeah. I'm thinking I used the pen and paper to shoot the because I did that one thing. Ah! I did it wrong. No. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's the one though. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm stupid. Let me see. Is it this? See, that's why I think it is that, because Okay, I just didn't do it early enough last time. I was like, that makes the most sense to me. I don't understand. Okay, move. Get this shit off the screen. Period. Alright, then we need to go back to when Mookie said, I did that one thing. Like, nah, you did something else too. You were trying to get people to kill and shit. Fuck out of here. I'm actually doing really well on this one. Period. That's it. The paper and pen. What? Oh yeah, and where did he get that from, too? After listening to Akane's words, I thought about it. At the beginning of the trial, you guys remember the letter that you said when you were blaming Satsuki? I've been thinking, it's been weird all this time. Oh yeah, where did he get a pen and paper from? How did the culprit write this letter? We should have lost all of our belongings at the time we were in the ballroom. Hearing that, yeah, how did... Oh. Yes, exactly as Yuki says. Perhaps the night before the murder, there was someone who secretly handed out a piece of paper, and that had been secretly showing a paper to ask someone to choose 2 victims? Hick? It's obvious at this point that Teruya clearly said that at the time, the extra paper and pen were not removed from his clothes. That means Teruya is the only one of us who has a proper pen in their belongings. Don't joke around. You could have accidentally found another piece of paper and wrote in it. Oh, is that so? Should we check it then? Monokuma, bring that letter. I knew that would happen, so I brought it in advance. Here. Now, without that guy making a commotion, let's read it. This must be the same paper Teruya had. Oh, this must be the same paper Teruya had. Then Teruya was the one who sent that letter to Haru's room? Wait a minute, you're forcing me. I handed out a bunch of papers to you guys. Soon after that, when Tsurugi made a fuss, he might have gotten one in the massive confusion. If it's only paper, it might be possible, but what about your side? You said it with your own words. There's only one pen. No matter how much paper you had, you cannot write a letter without a pen. The pen was also in the confusion. Then that means you don't have the pen right now because you said you only have one. If we look into your belongings and the party clothes you wore, you won't have any complaints, right? That's not allowed. Why not? Is there something we shouldn't see? He's about to lose it. It's decided then. You can't refute it anymore. He wrote a letter by calling out Haru and misloading a bullet to let his hand be ruptured. All of this. That's what you did, Teruya. Really? You, Teruya? Why? Why did you do that? Why did you kill Haru? I don't feel like he killed him, though. I also, I don't know. I feel like he may have hurt him, but I don't feel like he killed him. I feel like maybe Satsuki really did kill him. Like, to put him out of his misery or some shit. I'm sorry. All you said was right. After all, you couldn't stand the hunger, too? What else could someone do otherwise? Actually, there was a reason that I was aiming at Haru, and there was a reason for when we fought each other. It was all because of hunger. Teruya. So what? Were you hoping for sympathy? Either way, you planned the murder and executed it. No, I have nothing to say. I don't want to make excuses and dishonor Haru anymore. I'm going to die anyways. Wait, there's one thing I'm curious about. Why did you go to the arsenal before the victim, work with the gun, write a letter to call him, then go back again to the arsenal? My plan was to originally summon Haru and then see him go into the arsenal, and I would go with him. As if it had nothing to do with the criminal, Haru and I were supposed to fight and then provoke him and letting him shoot me with the gun I prepared. Once that happens, his hand would fly away without knowing anything, and so he would die. In the past, I followed my papa to study guns in America. Then I decided to commit a crime by using the knowledge I gained at the time. So I went back to my room and watched to see Haru coming out, but I was too tired, so I fell asleep until morning came. In the end, I don't know the reason why Haru broke his hand, but in any case, it was my fault. The fact that I killed Haru doesn't change. Bro, you didn't kill him, though. You probably blew his hand up, but that's it. This was a difficult answer to even predict. I'm glad you're a stupid fool. In a way, Mikaku, who was watching the corridor all day and morning, I think that was a good thing. Thanks to that, my crime was discovered. Teruya. The discussion so far has ended with the conclusion that Teruya is the culprit. It seems like a long shot. I think there's still a lot of unsolved questions. Wait a minute, I've been listening all this time. Something is wrong with this. Teruya is not the culprit. Satsuki, what are you talking about? Teruya just admitted it. I mean, the culprit is me. Are you still saying that? I told you to shut up. Wait. Is Teruya really the culprit? Eh? Even Mikako? If I'm right, Teruya is not the culprit. There's still an unsolved mystery. Yeah, because Haru was still walking around and shit. What are you guys talking about? I'm the culprit, aren't I? I'm almost 90% certain that Teruya is the culprit, but it's still a little early to end the trial. I agree that there's an unsolved mystery left. If we try to vote without anyone speaking up like this, I would have tried to do it, but actually this is the most important part of the case right now. Eh? Huh? What's this all of a sudden? Wasn't the trial ending like this? That's right, if we think about it carefully, there are still a lot of parts that cannot be explained on the contents of the discussion. But I'd like to hear why Mikako thinks Teruya is not the culprit. You weren't careful enough even for Tsurugi. What? Nothing. Anyway, if you listen to the explanation, you'll know right away. Gunshot chest wound, flash and smoke grenades, wood plank, Teruya's behavior. Why do you think Teruya isn't the culprit? When Teruya passed the door to my room, he sent a letter to Haru. Afterwards, he went inside the arsenal for his next plan. That is the explanation so far. But after that, Teruya passed the door to my room again. There was no movement until the morning after. But they were... Even if Teruya did plot something, even if Haru's hand was exploded, the direct cause of death is a gunshot wound. Facts. True, Teruya didn't mention that he used the gun himself. If Teruya, who came out of the arsenal before Haru, could not kill. And one more thing, the arsenal was blocked from the inside. Facts.
そうかもしれないよ。
The wood plank, are you referring to this, Mikako? That's right, Yuki. You mean the broken wood plank that fell near the arsenal door? Yeah, according to Yuki, he opened the arsenal door in the morning with Teruya's help. You're not going to say just because they opened the door together he's not the culprit, are you? That's not it. Think about it. After Teruya entered and left the arsenal in the morning, Haru entered afterwards. Until this moment, the door to the arsenal was open. Then, when was the door blocked with the wood planks? Well, when was it? It is for a fact that Haru opened the door and went in. Doesn't that mean that the door was blocked after that? That is true, but according to Dark Circle's testimony, Teruya did not even enter the arsenal after doing his little scheme. In other words, Teruya wasn't the one who blocked the door with the wood plank. It's only natural. When I tried to open the door with Yuki in the morning, I was embarrassed to know that the arsenal, which had only been opened, was not opening. As I said before, you must pass by Mikako's room. Even if you don't, you can head to the arsenal door. After that, the door to the arsenal was opened one more time. At that time, Teruya finished his plan. That's impossible. Since Haru was the last one to enter, the arsenal door has been only opened once. If Teruya went in and out of the arsenal, I should have heard the sound twice. Well, for starters, the wood plank was used to clasp the door, I guess. If you do something like this from the inside, won't you be able to come out? That's true, but even if you put a plank by some trick from the outside, there wasn't just one plank. You know what I'm talking about, right, Yuki? She's talking about that flash grenade shit. There wasn't just one plank. Yes, I saw it clearly. The thing that fell with the plank near the door at the same time, it fell to the ground as soon as the plank was crushed and made a loud noise. That thing was...
これだよ。
Right. The objects that were separated from the plank. You mean the flash and smoke grenades, right? Flash and smoke grenades? Ah, is those things that were near the door? Yes, when Teruya and I first opened the door, we heard a shattering sound from the inside, and immediately afterwards, a tremendous amount of light and noise hit us. And then, after a few moments, when we opened our eyes, the arsenal was filled with smoke. After pulling out the plank from the handle, the door was open and the plank fell because of the effort we did. That's right. Now you see, it's impossible to block the door like that from the outside. What? Then you're saying Teruya is not the culprit? Wait a moment, but it was me who wrote the letter and had a gun ready to explode. It was the reason Haru saw the gun and then it exploded on his hand. I told you a little while ago. It is true that Haru's right hand was ruptured, but the cause of death was the gunshot wound. Teruya, you only prepared the gun, but you didn't shoot Haru, did you? No. Hold it. Teruya had an obvious murder intent. Now it's a contradiction to say that he isn't the culprit. What's wrong, Mr. Psycho Cop? Using forceful logic in that way doesn't seem like it would reach an answer like this. Dark Circles is right. I don't think Teruya is the killer either. Then who is the culprit? You're saying it's impossible for Teruya to block a door, however no one else can do it. That's true. That's the biggest mystery in this case. So what you all are saying, in short, it's an impossible crime. Period. 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 Guys, should we stop it here and finish the trial tomorrow? I think I've done a pretty decent job on this trial. I didn't even have to ask for help, guys. I'm doing so well. Thank you guys for the new subs. We're at 3,722. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for the 20 likes as well. If I want... Yeah, I'm gonna play this tomorrow too. I'm also gonna play The Sims as well tomorrow, but thank you, Tango. Yeah, so maybe we'll finish it tomorrow and then we'll play a little bit more into the next chapter as well, and kind of see how things see how things play out. I really think the ending, not the ending, but like the conclusion of the trial is gonna be what I thought though. I feel like Satsuki is I think she's telling the truth. I do think it was her. I think she probably I think it was either her or Haru, but like I said, it's giving Hina and Sakura vibes. It's not a long trial. Okay, that's actually perfect then. So we'll jump back in it tomorrow, guys. Do you guys prefer that I start this a little earlier? And then we end with Sims 4 for the night? Or do you guys want me to start this later in the night? Because I could start this around like 5 p.m. Eastern. Or even a little earlier. I could do like 4:30 p.m. Eastern. I still don't understand how you thought his picture was... Streamer crying, struggling to get past the trial. Oh my gosh. Ignore ego, Tango. Earlier? Okay. Alright, yeah, we'll definitely start it earlier then. Yay, I'm excited, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for being here as usual. We'll jump back into it tomorrow. Maybe in with Sims for your sanity queen. A relaxing break. Facts. Okay, so we'll end with Sims tomorrow. Alright, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the likes. Good night, guys.
Don't know if you know this too. I'd rather be right here with you. Nothing else matters right now. It's just you and me, boy. 이대로 멈췄으면 좋겠어, 둘이. Don't take your eyes off me, baby. You're the one that I need. 솔직히 말해볼게. 너만을 기다려봤다고. 저 수평선을 건너 우주 끝까지 가볼게. With you, with you. 마지막 순간까지 너와 눈을 감아도 너만 보여. 난 something about you, baby. I do anything 줄 수 있어. 다 something about you, baby. You make my favorite part of the day. Baby, you got me going crazy about you, and I can't seem to get over you. 이대로 멈췄으면 좋겠어, 둘이. Please keep your eyes on me, baby. 나만 바라봐줘. 솔직히 말해볼게. 너만을 기다려, 너만을 기다려. 저 수평선을 건너 우주 끝까지 가볼게. With you. 마지막 순간까지 너와. 저 수평선을 건너 우주 끝까지 가볼게. 마지막 순간까지 너와. 눈을 감아도 너만 보여. 난 something about you, baby. I do anything 줄 수 있어. 다 something about you, baby. Something about you. Something about you.